Donnie and Dolly, the team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Just ahead of Ian Furness, one of three guests of the day. Today's guest brought to you by Langley Chrysler. Don't struggle to find a great deal on new or used vehicles. When Langley Chrysler has over 200 vehicles on the lot, save up to $10,500 on Ram at Langley Chrysler, in-store or online at langleychrysler.com. This thing with Nils Höglander, I know you and Ryan always think people don't care about uniform numbers, but it really took off since yesterday with Höglander changing from 36 to 21. I was reminded last night about Kevin Bieksa and several submissions today into our Delaney's OK Tire and Langley inbox. Recently, Adam Gaudette changing from 88 to 96. Now, I think he's 11 with the Blackhawks. I know all this is fascinating for Ian Furness. He joins us from KJR Radio in Seattle, Q13 Sports. They 1-0 Seahawks play their home opener Sunday at Lumen Field. Ian, thanks for doing this. How are you, sir?
I'm good. I got a question. If there's three Langley guests of the day, is this like a participation ribbon, or do you have a favorite? Or is it 3 stars? Who's 1, 2, and 3? I got to be ahead of Drance, right?
Yeah. Well, you get the gold medal. You're first. You came first. There you go.
There you go. I feel a lot better about this.
Drance strategically is in the second hour, Ian.
Top of the show. It doesn't get better than that. Oh, it's second segment anyway. Hey, your takeaway, the obvious question, your takeaway from a successful Seahawks debut Sunday in Indianapolis.
Well, we all wanted to see what the new offense looked like, and I guess more specifically, was the new offense just that? Was it new? And it was. They did a lot of different things. When we kind of watched them in Indianapolis and tried to kind of find some of the nuances in the preseason, we saw a lot of differences. One was tempo, and I'm not talking about necessarily no huddle, although they did go no huddle every other drive, it felt like. But it was more just getting to the line of scrimmage with plenty of time on the clock, kind of putting some pressure on the defense, allowing Russell Wilson to see what he's got. If you think back to Seahawks football the last few years, oftentimes late out of the huddle, unnecessary timeouts, none of that was happening. A lot of motion, a lot of guys kind of causing some havoc, and you're trying to dictate what the defense doing, zone and man and all those types of things. D. Eskridge on a fly sweep, but it looked a lot different than it had in the past, and I think that's the biggest thing. Is my biggest takeaway was the new offense was indeed new.
One player who stood out for me, other than the obvious Russell Wilson, etc., on offense, but Brian Monet, number 9 in your lucky number program, 5 tackles, undrafted out of Michigan. I think I've got that right. Ian, what can you tell us about him?
Yeah, well, first of all, I missed the lucky number program. I guess 2 of the 3 of us here are probably old enough to understand. Maybe 3 or 4, not Ryan. But yeah, Monet's an interesting guy. Big-bodied, kind of a run stuffer in the middle. He came into the league undrafted, as you mentioned, and has had his first year, but was on and off the roster, a practice squad guy. I'm with you, honestly, Donnie. I thought he was one of the best players on the field the other day, especially against the run. Just caused all kinds of problems. And what he did is he was taking up 2 blockers at a time. He's allowing the Bobby Wagners of the world to come in and make the tackles on the run, causing some problems even in the non-obvious passing downs when he was on the field, say a first or second down. I thought he was a big-time presence, as was Al Woods and Poona Ford for the most part as well. I thought their D tackles kind of set the tone for the game, and it's been a while since I've been able to say that, to be honest with you.
In listening to the head coach this week talk about the NFC West, my goodness, so tough. 4 wins, 3 on the road by the teams this weekend. Best overall record of any division in the NFL the past 5 years. Who's coming out on top? This is the big one. These guys are all good teams.
Well, I think what ends up happening is you can't kick one in a non-conference game. Now Seattle starts with 2 teams that were 11-win teams last season. I mean, Tennessee was an 11-win team. Indianapolis was as well. But you can't kick those. I feel as if, you're going to see a lot of teams that end up being 3-3 in division in this conference. Right. Whoever ends up being 2-4, 1-5, they're going to be on the outside looking in. Those divisional games will be of the utmost importance. 17-game schedule. They always say it's early, and Rick, Donnie and I have been talking, for years about this. What is it, Donnie? It's the right-hand column, and it's still the right-hand column. And in the NFL, you can only afford, so many losses in that right-hand column. Once you get past 4, 5, 6, even with a 17-game schedule, you're not going to win the division. You're not going to have home field advantage in the playoffs. So that's the number to always keep an eye on. Sure, it's early. You hear teams that are 0-2 saying, hey, we're fine. There's still 15 games left. Not necessarily. 0-2 is a really difficult challenge to come back from.
You're getting a Kraken question every week from me. They started selling their jerseys this week, Ian.
They did. Yeah.
Are you hearing? Are they selling like hotcakes?
Yes. Hotcakes at the White Spot, perhaps.
Very good. Very good.
Are they a sponsor? I don't even know. Toigo, if not Toigo, you should be anting up to these guys, man. Come on now.
I'm calling them today.
You got plenty of cash, Ronnie.
Oh, thank you
for all the money you didn't pay me over the years. Anyway.
Okay.
Anyway.
It's good you're not bitter.
Not at all. Not at all, Ronnie. No, I love Ron Toigo. Good guy. They went on sale Wednesday. There were people lining up outside the practice rink, which is kind of their biggest team store, so to speak. 5 in the morning. First people.
Wow.
And we're talking, $198 American for a blank jersey, and then they go up to $350 or something like that. So they're not cheap. People, it's interesting over the last 2 years. It's when will they name the GM? When will they name the team? Who's going to be the coach? But really, since the team was announced coming here, it's like, when can we get a jersey, aka a sweater, depending on what you want to call it down here? And they finally went on sale, and it's blowing up, and it's
wow.
I mean, these guys are. We have a lot of restrictions and a lot of things going on in King County, which is where the rink's located in Seattle. A lot of things going on with COVID and restrictions, but it feels like the Seahawks and the Kraken are they're bulletproof in terms of that stuff.
Do you know, amongst the numbered jerseys, who's selling the most? Grubauer, Giordano? Do you have any idea?
Alexander True, I think.
Fourth liner.
Not bad.
In Charlotte, yes.
Yeah.
Or maybe Jared McCann is number 1 in Seattle.
From a Canuck.
That's a definite no.
Yeah. Hey, you mentioned this, or you touched on this, but what requirements are there to get into Lumen Field on Sunday?
Yeah, so it all kind of. Yeah. Pardon me.
Cole's notes.
It's all changing. So right now, what they did is there's a mask mandate for any event over 500 people. So we've been kind of dealing with that and amping up towards that anyway. And then all the teams, and I want to say, I don't know if we talked about this last week. It was about a week ago, kind of in a concerted effort. All the teams in the area, including the 2 colleges, Washington State, University of Washington, the 2 big schools, the Kraken, the Sounders, the Seahawks, the Storm, they all came together, the Mariners, and they said from now on. Now, the Mariners said we'll start if we go to the playoffs, and you can insert your joke there. But everyone else, you have to wear a mask indoor or at the stadium, even if you're outdoors. In addition to that, you have to be vaccinated, show proof of vaccination, or a negative COVID test within the last 72 hours. And that can't be a home test. It's got to be certified. So there's quite a few restrictions to go to the games. They kind of follow the lead, I guess, in a sense, of Buffalo and New Orleans, a couple other places, LA or Las Vegas as well. So it's a little bit of a challenge. I mean, if you want to go to these games, you have to either be vaccinated or go get a negative test. It's really as simple as that.
Toigo just texted me. He says he'll send you a couple of burgers.
And he's going to send you a Seattle Thunderbirds jersey. Because you'll get a Western. You'll get a deal on it. You know what I mean.
Well, he owns the Giants.
Yeah.
He's in Seattle. What's he going to do with a Giants jersey in Seattle?
You know what? He can send me one of those little pirate boat burger things from the White
Pirate Pack.
Pirate Pack. Yeah, they still have those things. I loved those when I was a kid.
Pirate
Boat. Yes, absolutely.
Pirate
Pack.
Absolutely.
Good stuff, that Pirate Pack.
Next Friday?
Good stuff.
Next Friday? Ian, we'll talk to you next Friday?
If you want, sure.
Yeah, you're on the schedule. Always.
Listen, Donnie, it's your show. It's your call. If Ryan tells me I'm coming on, I come on. Otherwise, I'll go find Sekeres and Price or something.
Oh,
oh my gosh.
My goodness. Who? Sekeres and who?
I don't know who you're talking about there.
We have no idea what you're talking about.
I want to go on the Ryan Henderson show. That's what I want to go on.
Yeah,
Well,
that's coming soon.
You're
too.
on it right now.
Hey.
You didn't see. These guys don't listen to me. You should have seen our first segment. They didn't listen to me, and it turned out to be a disaster. And we're going to have a big meeting afterwards. And your burgers are in the mail.
Donnie, like, you can change the venue, you can change the medium, but it doesn't change anything, does it? You're still in the same boat you were before.
Thank you.
For you.
Thank you.
I feel your pain. I feel your pain.
And the boat I'm in is one of those pirate packs. We're talking
Pirate boat.
And it's sinking quickly off White Rock right now.
Yeah, there's not much room. I'm beside a plate of coleslaw. All right. Thanks, Ian. Appreciate it.